In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a classic mullet. And at the end, I'm going to show you how to connect facial hair into your haircut. So here's Mark's before, and if you remember from the last time I did his hair, I did a soft mullet, which meant I did it all with scissors, just very gentle, very subtle, but this time we're going all the way. So I'm going to start by sectioning. Good sectioning is really helpful whenever you're doing any haircut, but when you're doing any type of clipper work, it's good to get that hair out of your way that you don't want to cut. So I'm right in at the recession, or right around the top of the parietal ridge there, and I'm just going to clip that hair out of my way. So I have the number 1 guard on, so I am going to take him pretty close, and I'm just going to scoop that hair out, and I'm only going to go back to about the top of the ear. I'm not going to go any further back than that. So again, this is classic. We're doing a business in the front and party in the back. Now to connect this, I like to do clipper over comb. And this, again, my favorite comb. I absolutely love it. And I can blend that line out pretty well. So by going to the top of the ear, I am able to really get that gentle slope from the top of the ear into the back. But I want it to be nice and tight right there at the sides. So now I'm going to do some scissor work. So clippers are done, time for the scissors. So I'm going to take the piece of hair that's right at the top of the ear, and I'm going to pull it straight out, and I'm going to cut straight up and down. This is what I'm going to have now as my stationary guide. So that means that all the hair that I take is going to be pulled to that piece. So that's going to make over direction, which is going to make the hair get longer and longer as we go toward the back. So I'm just pulling straight out, straight up and down. If you have a client that wants it quite a bit longer in the back, you can do more over direction. You can pull it further. The other thing you can do is you can change your finger angle so that you actually get longer toward the bottom. So this is totally customizable depending on what client that you're doing. But I just want to bring everything back right behind the ear. And eventually I am going to run out of hair. So now I'm just going to take this little area that connects here, the front to the back, and I am just going to cut on diagonals there just to try to soften out that line just a little bit more. So a little scissor over comb, elevation when you're cutting, that's really good just to help give it a softer transition. Okay, so once that's done, I'm going to take down the top section. I don't really want it to have a really heavy weight line. Some mullets do. I do want to try to soften this one out a little bit. Some people like a little overhang. Again, this is going to be customized to whatever your client wants. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull everything straight out, just to try to give that a little bit more connection between what I clippered and what's on top. So right now I'm traveling, so I'm just pulling every piece out straight out where it grows, taking the first piece that I cut as my guide, and I'm just carrying it through, or I'm traveling with it until I get to this point here right behind the ear. Now that piece of hair becomes a stationary guide, because that's where I had my stationary guide in the bottom section. So that's where I'm going to create a stationary guide in the top section. And so now I'm just going to continue going in vertical sections, pulling everything to that stationary guide. Now I'm going to go through with my thinning shears because I don't really want to take off any more length through there, but I do just want to soften out that line a little bit more. So by using your thinning shears over your comb and lifting the hair as you go, again, it just creates the optimal softness. And once you get it how you like, you can go ahead and you can start the other side. And the other side is done the exact same way we just did the first side. So just a note, I know it's a little bit difficult to see my sectioning here, but I am just sectioning at the top of the head, and I basically did like a horseshoe section, but I did take it right down into the crown area. So it did come back quite low. And again, you can see everything is just getting pulled straight out. All right, so now we're just going to do the top. We're going to clean that up a little bit. So I'm going to start right back here at the crown, and I'm just going to slice horizontal sections with a traveling guide moving forward on the head. This haircut incorporates a few techniques, some from my men's long that I do, which you can check out here, and also my fade video, which you can check out over here. So now I'm just going to take the section vertically. Basically, I'm checking that middle section, making sure it's good. But then the section right underneath it, I just need to make sure that it all connects. So I didn't miss anything, there's no corners. So I'm just pulling everything straight out, basically at 90 degrees, just at a different position. So instead of holding it vertically, I'm holding it horizontally. All right, now for the front. Always get your clients to look toward you when you're doing any type of fringe work. Much better for your back. And although I'm keeping the length in the back, I do want to clean it up a little bit. And I like to use my finger to press the hair down onto the neck. I do find this good for, well, there's a lot of different haircuts that I'll do this on, but anything that you're cutting at that length, and you want to make sure you don't have any corners, any flyaways, or any hairs that might go hidden, because that neckline can be a real tricky spot to get. If you want to get it nice and tight, use your finger to hold it down instead of picking it up with your fingers. A little bit of product goes a long way. Mark tends to wear his hair to the side, so I am keeping it directed that way a bit. Make sure you check for balance, that both sides are the same. In the salon, I'd have a mirror. It would make it a whole lot easier. Here's where we're going to connect the facial hair, the beard, into the hair that you cut. So what I do, and you'll probably see just the angle of my comb, I keep it nice and tight close to the head up top, but then I angle it out, and I angle it out further and further as I move down so that it's getting longer and longer. So I'm just doing basically trimmer over comb. You can do this clipper over comb. Scissor over comb works as well, but facial hair does tend to be a bit more coarse, so I do find that the trimmer or the clipper works best. I'm just outlining a little bit here, but again, just that trimmer over comb just to get those pieces nice and tight so it just connects and blends. This is really kind of like icing on the cake. It's a nice polish, and it can tend to set you apart rather than just doing a haircut and letting them walk out the door with it just not connecting. By taking that extra couple of minutes to connect it, it really makes the whole thing come together. So if you just look at the angle of my comb, I'm nice and tight, but then as I work down the head, you're going to see my comb come out a little bit further at the bottom. All right, so here's his before and after. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And in the meantime, have a great hair day.